Hello, today we're going to be unpacking the verb tener, which means to have in Spanish. I'm going to keep these notes brief, so I want to encourage you to pause whenever you need to write something down. Okay, here we go. Let's start with our big idea. One of the most common words in the Spanish language is the verb tener, which means to have. And we're going to unpack three ideas today. We're going to start by learning how to conjugate tener to say what you have, like I have a cat, for example. Then we're going to learn how to combine tener with the word que to say what you have to do, like I have to sleep, for example. And then we're going to combine tener with nouns to make some phrases like to be hungry is literally to have hunger in Spanish. Now, it's going to be in three sections. You should check with your teacher and see, are you supposed to watch the whole video or just part one and two? What are you looking for today? All right, here we go. Let's start with the basics. The verb tener means to have, but you can't just say I to have, you to have, he to have. That doesn't make sense. So we have to conjugate the verb. Conjugate means we're going to activate it. We're going to find different forms of that verb that work for different people. And here's what they are. If you want to say I have, since I is yo, we're going to use tengo. Yo tengo, I have. If you have something, that'll be tú, tienes, tienes. If he has something, él tiene. If she has something, ella tiene. If I'm talking to a stranger, I might say usted tiene, you have. We have, nosotros or nosotras would be tenemos. Y'all have in Spain would be either vosotros or vosotras tenéis. And they have could be ellos tienen or ellas tienen. And you all have, ustedes tienen. So I might say, I have a cat. Yo tengo un gato. I might say, you have a dog. Tú tienes un perro. I might say, you all have homework. Ustedes tienen tarea. All right, let's take a look at some examples. So, what do you think these would mean? Yo tengo las matemáticas a las 9. Tú tienes las ciencias con Señor López. We have a nice teacher. How would you say that in Spanish? They have a cat. Julia has the books. Paco and I have a big family. And you and I have cookies. Now, if there's a word or two on there that you haven't learned before, just leave it blank. We'll fill in the gaps together. Ready to check them? Here we go. That would be I have math at 9 o'clock. You have science with Mr. Lopez. Nosotros or nosotras tenemos un or una maestro simpático or simpática. So it depends on if this is a male or female teacher. Ellos tienen un gato. Julia tiene los libros. Paco y yo tenemos una familia grande. And tú y yo tenemos las galletas. All right, we're moving into part two. Part two, we can combine tener with the word que to say what we have to do. So instead of saying a noun that we have, like I have a cat, I have a dog, we can say a verb that we have to do. So here's how we're going to do that. To say what we have to do, we're going to use the verb tener, a conjugation like yo tengo, tú tienes, and then the word que. And then the verb that we have to do, we will just leave it as the infinitive. We will not conjugate it. Let's take a look at some examples. Yo tengo que contestar el teléfono. Since contestar is not a noun, I can't just say yo tengo contestar. I have to put the que in there. Yo tengo que contestar. Tú tienes que estudiar. All right, now can you make these? He has to arrive at 8 o'clock. We have to get a good grade. The girls have to use the computer. And Felipe and I have to do homework. That would be I have to answer the phone. You have to study. Él tiene que llegar a las 8. Nosotros tenemos que sacar una buena nota. Las chicas tienen que usar la computadora. And Felipe y yo tenemos que hacer la tarea. Okay, so tener plus que is one example of a tener phrase, how we can put something together. Next, we're going to look at, in part three, other words that we can combine with tener to make kind of colloquial phrases. So phrases that don't translate literally into English. All right, so our big idea here, sometimes there are phrases that use tener that don't actually use the word have in English. And here are a good starter set for you. Tener hambre means to be hungry. It literally means to have hunger, but in English we would say to be hungry. Tener sed, to be thirsty, literally means to have thirst. Tener calor, to be hot, literally means to have heat. Calor comes from the same word where we get calorie. A calorie is a measure of how much heat it takes up to burn up what you ate. Tener frio, to be cold, literally means to have cold. Tener razón, to be right, literally means to have reason. Tener suerte means to be lucky, literally means to have luck. Tener sueño means to be sleepy, literally means to have tiredness. And then tener, or to have dream is another way to phrase it. And then tener blank number of años is to be blank number of years old. So in Spanish, our age does not define us. It's not that I am 47 years old. I have 47 years of experience. It's not something that defines me. It's something that enriches my life. I have 47 years of experience. All right, let's take a look at some examples and see if we understand them. Yo tengo hambre. Necesito comer. Tú tienes sed. Necesitas agua. Pedro tiene razón. Hay un examen hoy. Lola tiene suerte. Ella siempre gana. Nosotros tenemos sueño. Son las 11. Ellas tienen 9 años. Son jóvenes. Yo tengo frío. Necesito un suéter. Tú tienes calor. Necesitas descansar. So that would be, I am hungry. I need to eat. You are thirsty. You need water. Pedro is right. There's a test today. Lola is lucky. She always wins. We are sleepy. It's 11 o'clock. They are 11 years old. They are young. I am cold. I need a sweater. You are hot. You need to rest.